Okay, y'all. So this week is going to be all about closing the deal. So I'm super excited about this because I actually learned a few closing the deal tips from Jocelyn. So I'm really excited for her to share. So I'm going to share like my main tip. So my biggest tip, I will always say this. I do always say this. If you're on my team, you already know this. Voice messages. I hardly ever respond to a customer without voice messages. Now there's times where I literally can't. And so obviously I'm going to reply. Or sometimes I'm going to literally say, hey, give me 5 minutes. I would love to speak to you, but I want to give you my full attention. So I'm gonna message you back in 5 minutes, something like that. But I always use voice messages because they can hear you being genuine in your voice. If you are sending a copy and paste message, like what is Thrive, copy and paste message, I mean, sure, it might work, but they're probably going to leave you on red. Like that's it. Or their next question is going to be, how much is it? You're going to respond with a generic $5 a day. And then that's where the conversation is probably going to end. And then you're going to have to work even harder to build that relationship and keep connecting with them until they order, which is fine because a lot of leads do go that way. But what we're doing here is trying to help you minimize the amount of follow-ups that you have to do to close the deal. You wanna try and close it right then and there. So voice messages shows you're genuine, shows you're excited, it shows you're a real person. So like they can hear the vulnerability in my voice when I tell them, Thrive is a 3-step system and you take it in the first 20 minutes of your day, and it's gonna help you with all day mood support, focus, energy. And I go through it, and then I tell them like, look, girl, I used to literally live off Red Bull. Like I drank 3 or 4 Red Bulls a day, and stuff as simple as bathing my child at night tired me and made me like literally just want to go to bed, and like I hate my life because I have to give my child a bath. Things like that is like I'm vulnerable. Like I tell them, like I hated myself as a mom, as a person, and I see a quick 1-minute voice message, and it really like it makes them feel closer to you. So this is part of building your relationship too. You don't want to seem like you're a perfect miss put together. Like you want to really relate to them. So voice messages, and also be assertive. Okay. You are going to lead the sale. The customers are not in control of the sale. They don't know the website. They don't know what to order. They don't know how much it is. They don't know how the system works. You're in control. So a lot of people make the mistake of, let's say someone immediately says, I can't afford it. Or someone, I don't know, they throw out objections, they throw out excuses. And a lot of people say, okay, no worries. Like, let me know when you're ready. Now, while that's okay to say that, sometimes you can do it in a different way. So one, you don't always have to just accept the objection. Sometimes you have to show them a different point of view. So if someone messages me and they're like, what is Thrive? I'm going to send them a voice message, and then I'm going to be like, girl, let's go ahead and get you ordered today. Like right now we have $25 pre-enrollment credits. It basically covers your tax and shipping. Here's my link. Let me know when you make the customer account. Boom, just like that. So they make the link. And then let's say they make the customer account, they message back. They're like, oh, I see like these packages are like $100, $150. Like, I don't know if I can afford that. Oh, I'm going to go back with, yeah, I know it's kind of scary at first. Honestly, I felt the same way, but then I found out that I'm spending so much more on coffee and energy drinks every day. And it's actually so much cheaper. And so I did not accept that objection, and a lot of people as well will relate to them in the fact that they can't afford it. And that's okay. You can relate, but you have to also justify the price. If they can see that you can't even justify the price, they're not going to buy it. Like you have to explain to them why it's cheaper, why it's better, and then also make them see that they're worth $5 a day. And you might see it as being pushy, and you kind of are. I mean, we are professional friend makers, we build connections, but at the end of the day, you want to close this sale because you were trying to get people on Thrive, and sometimes we need a little push. Okay, it is what it is. So you're in control of the sale. So let's say they make their customer account, and they, we go over, they're like, okay, I'm ready to order. We all know that a lot of people ghost at this point. They say they're going to order and then they just don't. So I send them a video on how to order. It's a screen recording. And then I say, let me know if you need any help. I wait 2-3 minutes. And I check back in. I don't say, did you order, blah, blah, blah. I'll say, oh, by the way, girl, I wanted to tell you that like the chocolate lifestyle mix is my favorite if you needed a tip on like which one to get. And then I'll just be like, I make it, blah, blah, blah. And I tell them my favorite way to make it. And then if they like decided not to order, they're usually going to reply. they're going to say something like, oh yeah, you know, when I actually am able to, I think that I'm going to get the chocolate. And so you'll have validation right there that they're probably not going to order. And that's okay. If you run through all of these tips and, you know, you're being assertive, using voice message, you're taking control and they don't order. But always, always, always go with the month first. It's scary. I know a lot of people who just start promoting, they're so scared to just throw out that 150 price. But like I said, if you do all these tips, it's going to minimize the amount of times you have to follow up. And then you might want to lead with a mini. Regardless, you're going to close this sale with something, right? A customer account, a mini, a month order, something. So do these tips as far as like just taking control of it, okay? And if you want to go with the mini, right? So let's say they say, okay, I just can't. I can't order a month. I can't do it. You say, okay, that's fine, girl. I'm actually packaging up minis right now. If you want me to, I can get you an 8-day together. It's only $5 a day, like we discussed before. So you can send it to me over PayPal and I will literally go put it in my mailbox right now. And so that's like a sense of urgency. I'm like, you know, I'm actually about to walk out the door. I'm putting some minis in my mailbox right now. So let me know if you want one. And more than likely, you're going to say yes. Now, there are going to be times where they ghost you. There's going to be times where people say no. And guys, that's just the name of the game. But you just want to make sure that you're doing everything that you possibly can to show them that you are confident, you are assertive, you know what you're talking about, and you are excited. Really, really show them that you're excited. You don't want to do the generic, just copy and paste things, because there is a lot of Thrive promoters. If you're on my team, we're all in the same area. So like, what sets you apart? How are you going to connect with that person to where they're like, man, this girl really sounds like she knows what she's talking about. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to do it. Let's see. Oh, I actually kind of learned this I think I learned this from Jocelyn. Okay. This is my favorite thing in the freaking world now. I do this all the time. So like, let's say you've done everything you possibly could and they're just like, no. You can say, you know what? That's fine. I completely understand, girl. It was a little hard for me to justify the price at first too, but when is a good time for me to follow up with you? Or you can say something like, when I have a deal coming out, is it okay if I message you and let you know? And just things like that. You want to let them know you are going to message again so that you won't be like, oh, because I always say follow up Fridays. And my team's like, well, I don't want to be annoying. Well, you done told them you was going to follow up. So they're expecting you to do it. And then you might post a deal and then you won't have any spots left or something. And they're like, hey, I thought you were going to reach out to me. You never know if they're waiting on you or not because you told them that. So let them know like, hey, I just let you know, girl, when I have another deal, I'm going to reach it back out to you. Is that okay? Or if they say they get paid on Friday, hey, is it okay if I follow up with you Friday morning before I bring the kids to school bright and early? Just something like that. That's basically it. I'm gonna hand it over to Jocelyn, but if y'all can think of any scenarios, like maybe any problems you ran into or somebody you're dealing with right now that you're trying to close the sale on, you can always drop that in the comments and like we can help you with that. But Joss, I will give it to you.
Okay, before I go over what I want to go over, I want to touch on some things that you said because I love the fact that you brought up voice memos because it's true, it's everything. Imagine getting a message saying like, oh, hey, I thought about you today. I saw a story that really touched me and it reminded me of you. Like, imagine like just typing that out versus actually putting that emotion in, like, they can hear it. They can hear you're sincere and all of that stuff. I like that Carly said, I think this was last week, like she likes to use voice memos really early in the morning because, she's up and awake and alive and they're like literally groggy getting out of bed. That's another really good reason to use them. I love that you use the 3 Fs with the price because that is something that I do. Because to be honest, when I signed up for Thrive, I literally only had $300 to my name. And that was half of what I had, like until my next paycheck. And I remember the only reason I signed up was because Courtney offered like $25 in credits and that like made or broke my deal. So now when I sign up, I let them know like, hey, I was broke when I started. So I know the feeling. Let me help you with shipping. I'll give you your patches because I'm there. And them kind of seeing that you care enough to offer something like that is going to make them want to order right then and there. So definitely always use the 3 Fs. If you can offer incentives, offer incentives. If you can't, it's fine. I love that you talked about when they can't order the month that you offer a mini. I kind of want to talk about something that I do. And this is kind of how I convert my people that are interested in minis to getting a month. It's kind of tedious. I'm about to throw out what I use and you guys might cringe, but it's Klarna. So, when you get a mini experience, they're what, $20 to like what, $35 for 4 or 6 days. Well, depending on what you price it at. So what I tell them is like, hey, instead of putting your money to a mini experience, which you're going to end up loving and you're going to end up wanting to get a month, why don't we just invest this money into a box? So if you guys don't know what Klarna is, basically what it is it's an app that'll break your total price into 4 biweekly interest-free payments. So literally their first payment is going to be like, what, $50? No, not 50. I'm terrible at math, but it's around the price of a mini. So when I tell them that, they're like, oh, okay, because they're going to buy a mini and then later on end up buying a month of Thrive, which is like what, almost $200. So that's typically what I do is I always offer Klarna because shoot, I wish I would have done that. Like I don't want to pour my money into a mini when I'm going to get some like another box later. So that's another thing. Maybe one of these days I can even host something on Klarna because I know people literally fight it all the time. I like that you said that you put people on a list, like, oh, whenever there's a deal, I'm going to reach out to you. Like right now, I'm going through my list of people that literally will only order during Double Triple. Always have your list, always pay attention to who orders on what deals. You'll kind of get a sense of like people who will literally only order on a deal. So make sure you keep track of their names and you're always reaching back out. Don't be scared. So let me go over like the things that I jotted down that I wanted to talk about today. So number one is keeping in mind, not everybody is a fit. It's okay to disqualify people. This is literally going to save you so much time. It's going to save your energy, probably your sanity too. It's okay to let people know like, hey, I don't think that you're really interested in this right now, but maybe in the future, something will happen and you'll want to give it a try. It's totally okay to disqualify people. Call them out. Like Carly said, be assertive. But I'm not saying like call them out, be mean. I'm saying like call them out so you're saving both of your guys' time. So you can say, hey, like I said, you don't really seem interested right now. You told me that you're gonna look into it. Like, what are you looking into? Like, I would love to help you find that information. If they say something like, oh, I'm waiting for my next payday, or oh, I'm waiting for this, don't be afraid to ask, okay, when is that? Like, I want to know when I can catch you at a really good time. And they'll probably appreciate that too, because everybody has busy lives. And if they're really being serious about wanting to order, they'll appreciate you reminding them. Ask uncomfortable questions. I'm telling you, it's so uncomfortable, but once you start doing it, you're literally going to be doing this all the time because it's going to save you so much time. I'll look into it. What are you going to look into? Let me help you find the information. You can even ask them, if you're not serious about this right now, if it's something that you're not interested in, I totally understand. Like I was there for 6 months, maybe one day you'll reach back out and be ready. So don't be afraid to like ask questions or like say things like that. Back to everyone's not a fit. Also remembering that it's not for everyone. I can't tell you how many times I've had conversations that literally turned into like heated conversations over people like, I don't believe in that. It's not FDA approved. You shouldn't have to take all of that stuff. Okay, that's fine. Like, and like, I used to be the type of person that would argue with them about it. Like, oh, would you rather sit down and have 20 carrots, or would you rather like have this supplement that has all your fruits and veggies in it? And like, I used to fight with them a lot. And now it's gotten to the point, like, you know what? I'm never going to convince this person. They're going to be stuck in their ways, drinking their Red Bulls, eating their McDonald's, putting all this crap in their body. That's on them. Like I try to offer to them. If they're not ready, so be it. So saving your time and energy, kind of like not paying attention to those type of people. One thing that I try to do is talk less. I know that sounds weird because we want to give them info. But what I mean by that is like, I like to think when I'm coming into a conversation is like, this person's probably thinking, if it's not for me, like, why do I want to know about it? Like, if it's not about me, why do I want to know about it? So one thing that I do is like, yeah, I'll tell them like a little bit of why I started, but I don't use that throughout the whole conversation with this person. So what I like to do is I like to get to know them. I'm a Gemini, so I'm like a talker. I'm a people's person. I love to ask questions. I'm kind of nosy sometimes, which is good. So I'll ask questions like, what kind of challenges are you facing right now? Like, what's going on? I see that you're posting that, you want to lose all this weight. Like, what are you doing to get there? Like, I want to help. Like, I've been there. I know what it feels like. Again, 3 Fs, always using the 3 Fs. What else am I going to say? Sorry, my notes are like chicken scratch right now. I always ask, like, when they reach out to me about Thrive, like, hey, I see you're posting about this. I don't say, oh my goodness, yeah, Thrive is this. I've been using Thrive for this long, blah, 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 blah. No, I'm always like, what caught your eye about Thrive? Because bam, they're going to say, oh, I need energy. perfect. I'm not going to go on my whole spiel about freaking the weight management. I know exactly what to talk about. Always validate what they're feeling. Validate that, oh, I'm just a tired mom. This social distancing or homeschooling, whatever it's called, is draining me. Let them know, like, dang, I totally feel you. Like, I don't even know how you're handling that right now. Like, let them know that you understand what they're feeling, you care, and you want to help. That way, when it comes time to offer, hey, I think that you're going to be perfect on like Black Label, they're going to be like, okay, she really understands. She's validating what I feel. I'm going to give it a try type of thing. They're more than likely to try it. One thing that I always told my team is like, think like a doctor too. So imagine you go to the doctor and like, you literally go to the doctor's office and he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to prescribe you this. You're going to have to take this. You're going to go get an x-ray of this. And you're like, but dude, like, you didn't even ask me what's wrong. Always ask those questions. Okay. Like I said, somebody who's wanting to lose weight. Okay, are you dieting right now? Are you planning on exercising? What's your water intake like? Like, always ask questions. Are you drinking coffee? Are you taking other supplements? Because you really, really, really want to get to know them. You want them to know that you aren't just giving them whatever. You're really asking questions to personalize, whatever you're going to put in their box or any extra add-ons for them. One thing that I like to do is I always establish the budget later. So I don't answer their, oh, how much does Thrive cost right away? I'm like, oh, we'll get to that in a little bit because all packages cost, different prices depending on what you need. And another reason why I do this, yeah, drink your water. Another reason why I do this is so that, and Courtney says this all the time, is you paint the picture. You kind of show them what it's really worth. I think Courtney has said before, like when they're asking how much Thrive is, they're not really asking how much it is. They want to know if it's worth it. So by you pushing that budget at the very end of the conversation, you've already painted that picture of, this is for you. This is totally worth $5 a day. You're going to love it. You can thrive for free. Like, you're going to put all of that info before you put the budget. I feel like a lot of people need to be reminded to stop putting budgets on people. My hometown is very like, there's a lot of people on unemployment. Like, it's just border town, like small town. So I always thought, man, like, I don't think they can afford that. Like, I almost don't even want to offer to them. Like, I kind of feel bad off. Like, stop thinking like that. You don't know what people can afford. You don't know how much people want to invest into like their challenges. You don't know. So stop holding yourself back from having those conversations with certain people. I was watching this thing on YouTube this morning, and this guy was talking about discovery versus closing. And I know that we said, oh, this is closing the deal. I want you to kind of think about it as like this big discovery versus a closing, because you want to be pushy, but not too pushy. You don't want to have like, there's no fancy pitch. There's no fancy message that you can send to someone that's going to get them to order. Really what it's about is literally discovering what this person is looking for, discovering what their challenges are. And when you do it right, you're gonna know, because it's just gonna happen naturally. They're gonna say, oh, well, how do I get started? How do I order? I'm so excited. I can't wait. That's how you know you're doing it right. And usually from there on out, it's really easy to transition. I know Carly says that she likes to send a screen recording to people, which I think is probably really time consuming. I should probably do that. But what I do is I always tell them, okay, do you have 10 to 15 minutes? I'm gonna walk you through. And the reason I do this is because, remember when we first started Thrive and we first got on the Cloud Office and it was like, whoa, what's all this stuff? Like, it's easy to get lost in it. So make sure you take time to walk people through. Literally, I do it step by step because I do not want them to screw up. I don't want to have them write a support ticket later. So I'll walk them through. I'll let them know what everything is, what everything does, what's my favorite lifestyle mix, just like Carly does. And if they're ready right then and there, please, if you can, walk them through right then and there. Don't say, oh, hey, I know Carly, like, it's probably different in your case because you have kids, but if you have the time to do it right then and there, please do it, because more than likely, and I just think about myself, like, I'm the type of person, if I want something, I have to do it right then and there, or I'm going to change my mind. And I've noticed that happen in potential customers. I'll come back an hour later and they literally won't open my message till 3 days later because they've already changed their mind. They thought about it too much. But yeah, that's all my chicken scratch I wanted to go over today.
Okay, so I have a few things to add. I'm not going to keep y'all too much longer. I love how you said like to call them out. I've been doing this like the past week or so. So this is going to go with people I have been building relationships with. Okay. Like all of this really just plays a part of like Jocelyn's method, like getting to know people. You're building a relationship. You're being a professional friend maker. You're gaining trust. You're showing vulnerability. But I've been like messaging like this one girl. She kept not reading my messages. Like we were having an ongoing conversation, but she was reading my messages like every 2 days. And so she made one post and I messaged her and I was like, not you purposely not opening my messages. Like what? And this other girl, I was like, not you posting on Facebook that you're tired, but you literally ghosted me when I offered you half of your package. And like they're like, oh, you just called me out. Like, but I'm funny about it. And I sent a voice message so they can like hear my tone. So they're not like this thrive B word, you know. But you can use humor. I love doing that. Let's see. I love that you talked about like what caught your eye. Like when they ask about Thrive, I love that. I'm going to start using that. And how you said don't put a budget on people. I don't know how I even forgot to say this. I learned this when I was a store manager. Don't think with your own pocketbook. Okay. That is the saying. That is so smart. Like seriously, we put budgets on people all the time. I even still do it and I catch myself doing it. I'm like, because then they're gonna post that they are like going get their nails done like the next day, and you're like, but wait, what? Like, oh, go get my refill. I'm like, oh, okay. So don't put your budget. Don't do that. Let's see. One thing I forgot to say too is me and Alicia used to always do this when somebody's like in the middle of ordering. Go post it on Facebook. Be like, oh my God, I'm so excited to order their Thrive or say like they ordered their Thrive experience. I can't wait for them to start. Then they're like, oh shit. Like, I didn't even order it. You know, they're more than likely if they're not gonna order, they're more than likely gonna message you and be like, girl, I did not order it yet. Or they're gonna go order it. They're gonna message you back because you just posted it on Facebook. But that's all I have to say. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry for the technical difficulties at first. I will not be using my MacBook until I can get the messenger off of there. But I hope y'all have a good Friday. Thank you.
Bye.